heading up the Swan Valley. Just have to pull over to put my camera on. Go back. Here we're going to go to Bindoon. I'll tell a ghost story, story of the devil. As I said, there's only fallen demons and hellbound spirits that used to live on Earth. Other than that, everyone else is in heaven, so. If I keep this stupid thing going, hopefully it should settle down now. Busy for $1.50 when yesterday I got my fuel for $1.20. Normally people should fill up on a cheap day, but you know the story. Oh, I don't know. So as I said, I'm 44 this year, living with my mother, failed marriage, and just don't know, as I said, diagnosed with nothing but speculation, of course. With blood disorders, this person can't do the speed limit, it just frustrates me. While they're putting on the brake, like all you do is put your foot off the accelerator, no need to brake, and do the speed limit. So they're doing below the speed limit and putting on the brake. It's just so tedious, and you just get stuck behind these people. And you know, when they brake, when they're going slower than the speed limit, that they're a nervous driver, so they don't even know what to do. Yes, I've been praying to God. I'm supposed to be a healing evangelist. Lord's giving me signs, but no miracles, you know. It's like, what am I supposed to do? And as I said, I gave up careers. Or having a career, just worked labouring jobs, so to speak. And then here I am, failed marriage, live with my mother. You know, the blood tests, as I said, I can't even get a definitive answer because they got to do, you know, a needle in the bone in your hip. That's the only way. And but oh no, we'll see. Oh, it's just getting frustrating. I've been out of action like a whole year. You know, being weak, feeling sick, even if I go out to the shops for 3 hours, do nothing, and you come home, it's worse than running a marathon. And I did used to run cross country, and I can say that. And I had like pains in my bones continually for the last year, and the specialist I saw couldn't see me, so they gave me some other idiot. That numbers on the chart says, oh, those bones, those pains are just, what are they? A virus. That's what he said. You know, and not taking anything serious, that sharp pains like getting stabbed in your bone. This person is just so irritating. Oh my gosh. Like, this guy gets a beat, you know, just learn to drive. Idiot. Ironically, like as I got this prophetic gift, it's like the gift of charades, that game. The Lord sometimes gives me sentences in a way, but if I see or hear something and there's a message to it, I feel like invisible water or a strike. And long ago, my friend's mother said, oh, go and get blood tests, you know, just for the sake of it. So that's what I did. And then before I even knew a result, when I looked at this, because my mum works at the surgery, so she got the results. I knew nothing of medical terminology, and the Lord touched me, you know, about looking at the test. And I said, oh yeah, that's interesting. And then my friend wouldn't tell me. Like, there was 4 things listed what could be wrong, you know, and one of them is blood cancer, the others is like liver failure or whatever, but my liver tests are good, so you've got to rule that out. And then, like, he says, oh, do you have any pains in your bones? I said, no, not really. And then 4 days after he asked, I had like a stabbing pain in my left arm, and it was like throbbing in the bone for 4 days, and that was the start. I've had pains elsewhere coming and going in my other legs, in my arm. Go and get blood tests, and one time they, believe it or not, 2 times they thought I had leukemia in my life. One time I was 4 and my spleen was killing my red blood cells, had a spiritosis or something it's called, can't even say it properly, and they took my spleen out. And then another time 20 odd years ago, that my white blood cells went up 5 times to what they should for no reason, and they stuck a needle in my hip, and it was negative, that went down. But this is not this here, what we're talking about. This is another situation, different blood tests with different results. And yeah, just haven't been feeling the best, trying to get a thing, stressing out on my birthday. I'm going to get a needle in my hip because I've had one before. And he decided not to, ran every test under the sun, but that one that I needed. And even their test says a myoplasma, whatever they call it, blood cancer, not ruled out. And I got symptoms, and the doctor that I was to see and the doctor that I saw, like, they're too busy to see you properly. Oh, well, you know, and I explained, no way, you know, but it's from the own test. I'll come back in 6 months. And as I said, I've been feeling fatigued. I can't even do basic, even living. You know, it's crazy, but that's where I'm at. But I'm not afraid of dying, and I know that somehow the Lord is going to get me through. He's showing me the future, that I will have another wife, and fortunately my wife did cheat on me, so I'm actually glad, so I can remarry, you know. That's how I see it. So here we are, going up the Great Northern Highway. Just what I needed, a big giant truck. I'm going to be stuck. There's no way I'm going to pull out in front of this guy, so got a lot of waiting to do here, so going to be stuck in a lot of traffic. I just missed out. All because that one idiot earlier, like in true life, I've got through. That someone ruins it for you. Like that guy's just going so slow, and then you're the one who gets stuck behind trucks because of someone else. And that happens in my life all the time, that someone drags you down, and it wasn't for that one person dragging you down that, what's the story? You know, these bad things wouldn't have happened. You know, but just because you went along with them and they're late, and then they, you know, hold you up and they do this, and then then have a chain reaction of a day of disaster. Oh, it's just so much. Anyhow, I'm gonna go to the cemetery. Where am I going? I don't even know. Somewhere, I'll forget the name. We'll see a sign, it'll tell us. There's a music festival there, run by the Coffin Cheaters. I went once, so anyway. Had a Jesus sticker on my car. Went to a bikie thing. Outlaw bikies. Anyhow. Took my other friends, they like going to things like that. I'm still trying to work out what's this name we're going to. I always know the name without even forgetting it for the last 20 years, and for some reason I cannot remember it now. But yeah, so the Lord's supposed to be a healing evangelist, and it said everything just goes wrong in my life. Like, I swear everything goes wrong in my whole entire life. It's just uncanny. I've been falsely accused of stealing wedding rings when I was in year 9. Didn't go to school for 6 months. I was too scared to leave the house because she pulled out an axe handle. Had a psychic say it was me, describe me. She tricked me into her room. Something's going down here. Regardless, always good to respect speed limits. Regardless, I'm sick of people. Looks like a truck's gone in a ditch. Yeah, I've just been accused. Like, this lady accused me of ringing a place at 2 in the morning, but then it was her boyfriend in New Zealand whose parents died. Accused me of stealing a lunch, but I've been, you know, just so accused. Accused of giving the kids cigarettes when it was my other mates. They said it was me just to get the heat off them. Accused of my mate stealing his marijuana. He finds it months later because he was too drunk to remember where he put it. When I was cleaning, this guy didn't leave money out for me, so I didn't clean his place. Accused me of stealing his money. Yeah, so but yeah, these wedding rings was the worst, and it really affected my life. That I was afraid it was going to happen again. You know? And under mass paranoia for probably 10 years after. And that's when I accepted Jesus. 7:30 on Friday night, these rings turned up. And then at church, I befriended this guy who was a nutcase. He started talking that he got molested by the Catholics, priests. But then he started being weird, and I used to carry a knife with me. So I'm going to church. He used to give me a lift, I carried a knife. And then he talked about the women's cycles and the moon being 28 days. And then he said that, what's the story? Yeah, that if the lampstands in the book of Revelations means if I told anyone what he's been saying, he's going to burn my house down. You know? So I sort of started going to church and questioning my faith as well, thinking, oh, you know, is God real? Is Jesus real? Is this real? And even walked away and thought, nah, you know, I'm going to believe in UFOs, you know. Anyhow, so, but as I said, the Lord, I had a major encounter, 96, 95, with the Lord, that I can't dispute that, and had two of them, you know, that I cannot dispute, that now I know that Jesus is the Son of God. I tell people the Bible is true. The dinosaur era only happened before the flood, and everyone's imaginations have run wild, you know. But then I was single 10 years, got depressed majorly, started smoking pot just to get through the day. Met this girl on the internet who was a Christian, and we got married, but I was, you know, I was weak, and we did have to love, you know, make the love, and but then I still had the fear of God and wanted to please Him, but she had controlling parents, and I didn't want to keep doing it, you know, because you can't sin and have God in your life. So then I got depressed with her, and I stayed with it because I was called to be an evangelist. And yeah, just put up with it, you know. And I was depressed and got miserable again with her, got on the dope, but I've always been sad with church. I've never felt a part of a church. One church in my life I come across that I'll say they love people exactly how the Bible says. This group I come across, they were a home group within the church, and they're the only people that I say in 25 years when I say, oh, they were my friends, and I still even I don't see them for different reasons, but other from that church has been nasty people, cold-hearted people, and I was supposed to make the way. And as I said, and this pastor came over that used to be my youth pastor, and I was at this church the day he come. He thought I was a part of the church, and I thought I was, but he asked around and no one knew who I was. Well, you know, and this is Brisbane to Perth here, so he was in Brisbane, I was in Brisbane, I come to Perth, and he comes to Perth just to preach by coincidence. And then I met up with him years later, went back for a holiday, and then he totally ignored me. He's vacuuming. He goes, oh, you don't belong to the church anymore. And he turned his back on me, and he ignored me to my face. How's that, you know? And I don't know, that's just what. And then also, everyone went to this other church that he went to, the priest, I rocked up, put my bike somewhere. Oh no, you can't put your bike there, and this lady comes up to me, and all I said, oh, hi, I'm Brett from Queensland. And then she just ignores me. Didn't even say, hello, I'm so-and-so, or I'm the assistant pastor. Wishy-washy. Was the assistant pastor's wife and the pastor, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, so I hope you're enjoying this little trek up north. Bindoon, that's where we are going. It just came to me. There's an airbase up here as well. And as I say, practice doing your speed limits because they're there for a reason, you know, and people don't appreciate a car can do as much damage as a gun. You know, so do it, and then if something happens, you're never going to get in trouble. But people just don't care, just want to speed. They don't care if something runs out, someone pulls out, they lose control. But yeah, so, and then my marriage failed because I had brokenness. I was a broken person. I was married, you know, as I said, I couldn't get through the day without smoking dope, literally, until I was so depressed. I've never been suicidal, never entertained the thought. It's not an option, don't want to go to hell. So why even think about something that you can't do, you know? So that's where I'm at, and I pray that everyone takes that embrace. But you can't do it, you will go to hell, unfortunately. But even people without Jesus are going to hell, unfortunately. Yeah, then she left me, you know, and the devil come. Like as I said, we went to this place called Montville, up at Mullaney, Queensland for holiday, and I was going strong with the Lord at that point, and this demon come in my sleep, and I wanted to see this guy I knew, and I said, oh, can I see Eli? And the person kept saying no, and then in the dream, and then the person speaking to me said, oh, I did not realise the believer was here, the believer. And then what happened after that? Yeah, I wake up, and then my wife is having a demonic attack, like getting pinned down for the devil. And this is the first time that, like, I went up to this mountain and I felt cut off from God. It was full of psychics and all this evil spiritual stuff. So it's the first time ever. And I had no idea that she was getting attacked by the devil. And then I sort of, because she was like moaning and things. And then I said, oh, the believer's here, the believer, like in the dream. And then bang, the power of the Lord come upon and filled with peace throughout this little hut we were staying in. And I know people straight away, oh, going about in the name of Jesus and all that. And I did not say that, and I'm just telling the story as is, I'm not up to God what he says, and if he wants to turn up, just for the fun of it, he does. End of story. Anyhow. And then we get home, and then we've got two little puppy dogs, and we just put them away so they wouldn't disturb us, because we, for sleep. And then we heard all this commotion, and the dogs are barking, but I just thought, oh, that's just next door, the noise. And I woke up at 1 in the morning, and I noticed that one of the kitchen chairs had been moved 3 meters. Like, it was at the table, and it was at the other end of the kitchen, literally. And I gather that was what the dogs were barking at. And ironically, I even got a photo, but there was a piece of paper, and it was placed on this piece of paper, one of the legs, and it was a small piece of paper, so that was pretty. And after that, as I said, towards the end of my marriage, I was working as a school cleaner. Well, schools are one of the most possessed places for paranormal, demon possessed, because it's logical. That's where the children are. That's where you've got to deceive them about this fake science that the kids learn. And the bottom line is this, that I don't understand fully how dinosaur fossils are there. I do know they did exist before the flood, and when it rains, that everything floats. You put down the body and weigh it down, it floats. So these dinosaurs have heavy bones, and that counter-rated, or they had a tough or disgusting taste, and an animal bite them and they sunk down, and everything else floated. I do not know, but I do know that the Bible is true, and Noah's flood did happen. Anyhow, my wife was up, and I was having a coffee, and I heard this punch. I suddenly punched the kitchen bench really hard, and she heard it. And I was standing in the hallway, so I could see fully in the kitchen and fully my wife. And then the kettle was floating in front of me. This was a cordless kettle that you place in a little thing, a portal, whatever you call it. And it was floating across, and it was swaying side to side very slowly. And it was about a metre off the ground, and it slowly swayed backwards and forwards, and water was even coming out of the top. And it went, and I took a photo where it landed. Unfortunately, you're not going to have a camera on standby when this stuff happens. And it landed on the other side of the kitchen, and I saw it. And I even was so startled, like I was thinking, what the hell? And I was looking at the water on the floor that had spilled out as it travelled, to see that I just see that, But what also I'm getting is that, like, even one time I was in my bedroom and this incredible anger come upon me. This incredible anger. And I was thinking, where is this anger coming from? And even my wife, when I was sleeping, she has a sister, Sarah, in this cult church, and she was growling her sister's name. So that, I'm saying that the marriage fell apart for multiple reasons. I was broken before and during, and then went back to smoking pot. Never been loved with the church. I just got to do things my own. And then she just left, and it's been the worst 6 years. Totally destroyed me. Had mental breakdowns. Drank myself. and she could not give me a second chance. I never hit her. A few times I went mad at her verbally, but it is a few times, as I said to her. You know, like I got up her once, went on a cruise, a Christmas cruise, her workplace paid for it, and I hadn't slept for 3 days due to my work. And then we parted ways on the back of the boat, and I hadn't slept, and then she comes and wakes me up, and I had a go at her, you know. And I said to her, did I raise my voice even for 6 months prior, even on one thing? And she has to be a cow in the sky. Of course, she was unhappy in the marriage for different reasons, you know, because I was like, I don't know, broken. That's what I was, broken. And she couldn't bear with me. I was smoking pot still. She knew it. And I said, just give me time. Because I had a lot of stress. My grandmother had macular degeneration, going blind. Got depressed. I had to be there for her. We're calling for God, and you know, yeah. And then she just does this, and here I am with my mother. So this guy just pulls over. I don't even know if I can overtake it. I wasn't expecting him to do that. No. I was happy to stay behind the big truck. Yeah, so, you know, and then I get sick at the moment. I want to work, I wanted to lose weight. And then they say, oh, you could have blood cancer, you know, and then nothing's diagnosed. But the Lord told me that I had it. And then I've got these symptoms and signs, and the blood test says they can't rule it out. And yet, I'll come back in 6 months. Oh, it's just too much. And then that's where I'm at, and I've only done dry cleaning, pressing clothes, the chemical in that poor chloroethylene that's been in Europe, carcinogenic. So that stuff could be having a go at me, like inhaling it. My boss at times there were chemical spills. Also, I was cleaning, and it's horrible and hot. Yeah, pressing clothes, and I just did cleaning. So here I'm in 44, and I've had such a gutful of people working, or rather work cleaning. So there are jobs I've just left. Like my last workplace, I worked there for 3 years. The boss was super fussy, mate. He literally's got a mental disorder, principal of a school. Bipolar, that's what he's got. So it's really fussy, I don't care. And he got me in his office, and he says this is the best cleaning he's ever seen. And that's what I gave them. And then these cows, and then the other cleaner in charge had to have an operation. So then it was put on me. And I did my best. I did better than her. I was better than my boss. She was just an islander, you know, but nothing against her. And I had a plan for, there was a student-free day, so I had to figure. And then this lady, business manager, she calls herself, says, no, I want you to keep an eye on them, you know, because I had it designated, you go do that. And it said, so come out, to clean the windows. And it was a hot day, got sunburnt. And then the parts where you have to go behind bushes, squeeze behind, and I separated into 2 groups because you can't have 4 people on one window. That's so I said, that group, you go there, and I chose the hardest group. I mean, the hardest, yeah, the hardest thing, to get behind the thing, and this wacky lady I was with, oh, let me do it. And I said, calm down, I'll do half, and because how the bushes were, I just had to pass stuff over, you know. And then the office people reported I was being lazy. When I went in the hardest, I went in the furthest, and that's by a little thing. And I explained to her, I said, no, this is what I did and why. And then she wouldn't have a bar of it, and then that really ticked me off. And then later on, this new cleaner, she misplaced the keys, and then I had to go report it. And this lady was going, no, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. And then I flipped out. I said, yes, it is good enough. And then this other girl, she was also a fill-in. I said, no, did I work hard yesterday or did I not? You know? And then, let's see, am I doing 60? And she'd go, what? And then I grabbed the keys around my neck and I threw them down in front of her. And I said, well, do it yourself. And that's what I said. Do it yourself. And I'll never come back. And then, but I've worked with nasty people and a good worker. And this is another little rant. That like I worked for 2 different people, at least 3.5 years without a holiday or a sick day. So we're talking 7 years of work. And both of them before I had to get on full time, get a holiday. And what gets me, there's been times I go to church and I've been unemployed and the pastor has to go at you. You know, and what gets me, they don't care about one damn thing about you. Like any other thing, are you fitting in the church, you got friends, you know, whatever. But no, if there's something wrong, and this is to do with other issues in life, you know, they just want to have a go at you. Like, so people more likely have a go at you than to love you. So they can't say, oh, how are you? Meet a new friend, as Jesus says, to welcome the stranger. Just have to get this dusty thing. I just clean these windows for a nice filming day. Instead we're getting horrendous roadworks. Yeah, so so this lady, I don't even know what I was at now, I got distracted with my stories. But yeah, no, just people at church, you know, like even on the internet, other Christians. I know you posted something that they found was sacrilege and they are wrong. But they won't come and say hello, they won't love you, they won't say, oh, good to meet you, or how are you, or nothing. But if there's something wrong with you, they can spare all the time, but no time for loving people. How wrong is that? You know? So back down, these speed limits are just giving me the creeps. So that's a bit of me, you know, insight, but that's where Christians, you know, again, Jesus says, I was a stranger and you do not welcome me. And the Apostle Paul writes, you know, don't forget to entertain strangers. But Christians can't even talk to each other or, you know, or step up. The church doesn't encourage stepping up. It is so pathetic. The state of the church is pathetic. Christians are pathetic. If you've got a home, a house of blessed, man, well, it's on you to, you know, at least have food and some Bible studies. Even if you want to charge $2 or $3 coin donation, they'll pay for it if you're hard up and you still got the house, well, you can still do it. You know? Oh, this is hideous. This is just hideous. Dust. I'm not going to go back this way. Yeah, so I'm just like, you know, like, I don't know. Like, as I said, I've seen the Lord heal me twice. That's what I don't get. Right? And a pretty cool way that the Lord healed me, and but 2 or 3 times I didn't even ask to get healed or want to get healed or be bothered about asking for it. and then the Lord heals me. And then other times when I need some healing, you don't get healed. It's like, it's a bit confusing. I'm supposed to be an evangelist, and as I said, everything's got to be broken. Come here, 94, had lots of friends. Brisbane, come here, knew no one. Again, drinking myself. So that's just a bit of me, someone on the internet. No one knows who we are, who I am. And that's my life and my story, part of my story. And no matter who you are, regardless of, even if the Lord will bless you with $100 million or whatever, that's big. But the most blessed people are those who have got Christian parents, Christian spouses, and hopefully your siblings. And then if you got that, well, you're blessed. But then other people don't have that. These new Christians, they don't have Christian friends or that, and the devil is nasty. And that's where we're supposed to just step up. And that's why I don't get the church. It's so angry that denominations are formed over a different opinion, that two can't just stick it out. Who cares? You believe that, I believe that. We can still go together. Believe in whatever story it is. The main fundamentals: righteousness, loving one another, and being practical Christians by caring for people practically. I'm going to retell the story, but I went to this cemetery one morning. I've sort of been a dude, just for different reasons. When I was young, go to the cemeteries, hang out, smoke some weed, I guess, see the view, but it's just nice and peaceful, and never, did witchcraft or seances. And so I've got a family member who visits cemeteries, who gets paper and goes over the tombstones to get the impression. And what's the story? Yeah. And so I went to this one, and I like the art. I like reading the tombstones, so I work out how old they are and how long ago were they dead, and see their spouse and how old when they died. And I got to feel that. Again, they were like us. They could see and feel and touch and cook and love and hate and have kids and then die. And then people who went to the funeral or may visit, and then one by one they too drop off, and then you've got a cemetery that no one visits. So anyhow, I was there one morning and I heard this growl. This is where we're going now. The sun was coming up, so it was virtually dark. And the thing, and I just thought, oh yeah, that's an animal, I wasn't too fussed about it. And I could hear it from the distance. And then I could have waited 1 or 2 minutes, who knows. And this thing had travelled right close, and it growled again, and I ran for it. Because number one, where it would have had to come up, it was all bush, so you would have heard it go through the bush, no doubt about it. You would have heard something, and you didn't, and I just ran. And because I didn't know, I could not see my car from where I was, and I ran, and I was just looking, oh no, how do I get out of here? And I got to a place, and then I noticed these big giant rocks. And then I just picked one up, and I was prepared for whatever that was to throw it. It was a human. I had to defend myself, and then I gathered my thoughts. I rationally thought it through, what just happened. And I said to myself, no, I'm going to go back and finish my tombstone reading. And I did, and I did not hear it, but it was definite, you know, so something was lurking. So this is my trip, Travel Australia with Brett Hill, the preacher. And I'm never going to Bible college. I have read the Bible intently, listened to lots of sermons, so regardless, you should have a fair idea, you know, who needs to go to Bible college? When people do it, they don't even believe in God. There's ministers who, you know, I was thinking, well, if they had the proper doctrine where Jesus says, ask for the Holy Spirit, to get baptized in the Holy Spirit, then you know you got the Holy Spirit, because when you do receive Him, you do know it. You don't think you know it. If you've got to question it, well, you never had it. Like, my experience was, you know, feeling invisible water. That was pretty dramatic to feel that. And that was enough for me, you know, like for 3 days, as I say in my testimony, this invisible water. And it happened twice, and I've been and lost the signs from God since. Like, technically and literally, I've had 10,000 literal signs from God, like, besides this. And on top of that, I don't even know, to be honest. As an estimate, you know, yeah, I reckon that could be true. 5 to 10,000. What do I mean by that? Well, Paul says, draw near to God and He will draw near to you. And even though through my broken times of being depressed, smoking the weed, because God knew I was broken. Like, people do different things for different reasons, you know. Like Lot's wife, looking back in the world or that, but God does count in if people are depressed and other factors. God's not that hard. Even if a person's drinking, got an alcoholic, and they can't stop, God's not gonna, you know, God will help. You can go to mid-strength or try and cut back, whatever you need to do, you know. You go cold turkey, God gives you that ability, all the better. I'm not saying not either. I'm just saying the Lord is merciful, that He's gracious, and Jesus says He's our Father, so He does look after us, even when we don't deserve it. He knows why we're down. He knows if we're looking back or still going forward and having a rough patch, there are differences, you know, and the church needs to learn that. No one gets anywhere unless the grace and mercy of God is with them, you know. Like, if you other stuff up and then God cuts you off, you're never going to get to where God wants you to be. Last time I did this little trip, I had this song on and they gave me copyright. You know, driving in your car, listen to Hillsong, and they give you copyright. And Hillsong teaching's boring. I've been in that little church. It's cool as. They've got a little cemetery there. Maybe I should stop off on the way back. yeah, so, you know, I still spin out like about Jesus, you know. But as I said, everyone, the angry atheists and all the other nitwits on earth, sorry to call them that, God, but they'll say, oh, you know, religion's geographical. So they're trying to say it's all fake because it's geographical. And in fact, like that's where, like Jesus is written in the Psalms, it was written in the Old Testament. And the true God did hang out with the Jews, that the Dead Sea did part, and all the other miracles in the Bibles did happen for this. As I said, for whatever reason, God hung out with the Jews. The true God, the ever-living God. As I said, you read, like, you could say Ra, the Egyptian god Ra, or the Hindu gods. Like, they got one Kali, absolutely evil things. And I said to my friend, so where is God? Like I said, written that Ra, you know, there was an army surrounding Egypt and then Ra come and wiped them out. Or, you know, in India that, you know, they needed to go across the Ganges and Kali, God, come and part of the waters and elsewhere. But the bottom line is this, with the Bible, the God of the real God, he did all that. You know, the other gods, there's no record, they just say they're the God of the sky, or they're the God of, you know, whatever they want to call it. Cemetery, 5 kilometers. Yeah. Yeah, so the Lord gives me joy. He claims I'm going to be rich. Then I say, I claim God said. So no, he said, I say, God claims it. Like, I was thinking, well, it's good to have something now. You know, because as I said, I'm living with my mother, she's 75. I'm 44. After her goes, I've got a few cousins. And that's it. You know, I do have no one, and I'm too sick to even work. Like, even a 4-hour shift doing close to nothing, man, I'm done. You know, like headaches, feeling sick, weak. Oh, it's just, I don't even know. Anyhow, I give a testimony, and as I said, gambling's stupid, but I'll say people buy investment properties, and that's no different than gambling, so. And I'm not even 100% gambling is a sin. Maybe stupid to do. And pokies aren't good either, because it's not gambling, they're predetermined things, so you're really not gambling, because you don't have a, you know, but throw that aside. Went to casino once, and you could say rightfully so that something got on me, like, I just, like some entity got on me, and I come home angry, and it was above, I probably did lose some money, but you know, you say, what type of Christian's this guy going to the casino? But I haven't been going lately. That's all that matters. Yeah, and this anger come upon me. And then, and there was intense. The only other time I can recall it was my story back when I was with my wife. That this anger come upon me, and I said, oh, why am I so angry? And this is above even having a temper, this is beyond this thing. And then as I was sitting there, the power of the Lord come upon me, because the Bible says gifts are beyond repentance. You got a gift, and as I said, I still contend gambling is not a sin. There's nothing in the Bible that says you can't gamble, and I do believe that. Throw that aside, maybe stupid, not saying it's clever, alright? And then the Lord come upon me, and then the anger lifted, bang, and then within seconds of that happening, this bottle in my bathroom, it was as if a person got a baseball bat and smashed this bottle, and it went 100 miles an hour in my bathroom. It went smash, and I was thinking, what on earth, you know? And it was a cleaning bottle or something, Jif or some cream cleanser or some bottle. But the funny thing about this story, that, you know, my friend, he tries to tell his brother about my floating kettle story, and his brother, oh yeah, you know, and he's a alco. This guy's got a drinking problem, but God bless him. And then he was there one morning, and then this entity come at his place, and this cleaning bottle, like a Jif bottle or something, probably was a Jif bottle. You know, went down in the room, did a 90-degree turn, kept travelling, you know. And I was thinking, oh, so what the hell are these poltergeists, or whatever they are, doing cleaning bottles for? I was just thinking, that's just weird. Right, you know. So we're nearly here. Stuck here, I'll be in a lot of trouble. Got no phone, I don't know no one. Yeah, so you can see the countryside of Australia. You know, there's some sheep over there. Probably asking where the kangaroos. Well, as I said, they only come around in sun dusk and sunrise. So here's the cemetery. So once again, water parked here. Let's get this camera. So as I said, one morning I come here,